So in bringing up this you could say problem of participants falling off, what we're really pointing at here is relationships as a fairly critical constraint to the proximity guild. So if they aren't being set up properly, then we're not going to have proper discipleship or the interactions which lead to the experiences necessary, just the fact how guidance can be so helpful. But this is largely what's missing in a lot of contexts, in a lot of, churches and other organizations, where people are there of their own. There's no other reason except to connect to each other, such as Portal Mountain, or the guild itself. It's just a coherence of life. You could say that there are highly ordered and complex relationships which are integral or pivotal in supplying or providing for the needs, of the body, internal and external organs of the body. So you could say that that relationships are a constraint to proximity guilds, and even then within the relationship there has to be this sort of intentionality to the increase of coherence. So without that, there's just not going to be the desire, the drive, the motivation, the commitment to making meaningful and lasting relationships. It's something that has to be renewed continually. So it's just an interesting thought that whenever we interact with each other socially, there are constraints being met. When anything does happen, there is especially in the shared, where there's cooperation or something happening, it means that whatever models are being used, there is some minimum of isomorphisms are being maintained. So it's interesting just to think about how modern corporations, they're functioning as groups of people, modern states, groups of people, relationships, recurring proximity guilds, again. But even though we could call them proximity guilds, they're not being treated as such. Or when you have a strictly profit motive, or all the needs of the system are overtaking the needs of the body, and so the system becomes primary, and so money is primary, and so money is the lifeblood of the economy, and money is what pays for your external organs, the externalization which you depend on. So the motive is, whenever the motive is as such, is made into a sort of linear, mechanistic, rational cause and purpose, instead of simply the context of itself, of the body in context, taking care of its organs, then you're going to have these complexifications, which serve only, you could say, the state. It's an ulterior motive or a set of motives, you could say. And so anything that's understood by the state becomes ripped out, and the feedback loop is lost, because along with it so much is lost. Good evening.
How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Good.
How's your fall going?